Well, welcome to the BNI Effect, the home of amazing conversations with Brisbane BNI members, sharing tips on how you can get the most out of your BNI membership. I'm Tony Meredith, and ordinarily I'm a business coach, but today I'm your host and fellow BNI member, bringing you yet another outstanding interview with a Brisbane BNI member. This is episode number 76, and today's guest is Triston Parker. Triston, g'day, mate. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Why don't we kick it off by you giving us a brief overview of you, your business, and the main products or services you provide?
Oh, well, my name's Tristan from Tristan's Roof Repairs. I do mainly repairs of anything else, from little tiny jobs like changing a tile to we're starting to look into replacing roofs and that sort of stuff. We do both tin and tile. I got a bloke who does my tin stuff for me, who's just started being doing some work for me. But we're doing more focusing on the repair side in particular than anything else.
Okay, and so always roof repairs, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, and guttering as well.
Okay, great. And how long have you been in business for, Tristan?
Uh, I'm trying to think. Started back in about 2002, I think it was. I started working on my own.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm only fresh.
And back then, what was the prompted you to decide to get out and work on your own?
Well, it was after the big floods we had, those 4 days of torrential rain we had in about February. I was working full time then, and then there was a lot of people looking for roofers to do repair works on weekends. And then I started doing it on the weekends. But because I play sport on the weekends and coach, and I've got kids, very young kids, started running out of time with them. And I said to the wife, either I stop doing this and earn next money, or we go into it full time. So it was just a jump in the deep end, or we stop.
Good on you, mate. So been in business for over 20 odd years. And which geographic areas do you service, Tristan?
Like to focus on North Brisbane, but we do sort of travel if we need to and that sort of stuff. There is for some reason, there doesn't seem to be a lot of roofers doing a lot of work out at Kenmore Way, so I've done a fair bit out there. I am based on the north side, but I am happy to travel for the work if the work is going to be quality work.
Okay, fantastic. So that's the business journey. What about
Yep.
the BNI journey, mate? When did you discover BNI?
Uh, in my first year, I think it was 3 months in, I started. Um, I started as Tristan's Roof Repairs and Lawns. So I was doing lawns as well, just as a side piece to get some cash in, to make sure there was at least a consistent flow of some sort of money at least. But when I first joined, I went to a couple of chapters and I had to find the right one for me because I'm not a business person as such as being a tradie and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I had to find the one that made me feel most comfortable. And I think I joined in April of 23.
Yeah, right. And so for you, you're looking around at different chapters. What was it about the chapter that you are involved in that prompted you to decide that's the chapter for me?
Probably the relaxed nature of it. It's a little bit more relaxed than some of the others. So yeah, we've got our structured setups and everything like that, but it's a little bit more we can gist on each other and that sort of stuff. And the network in particular is actually good, because there's also a few tradies in there as well, so we can bounce off each other as well. So being as that the tradie, it's always good to bounce ideas off each other.
Okay, fantastic. So that's BNI. So how has being in BNI influenced your approach to networking, Tristan?
Uh, it's opened my eyes up to doing it slightly different. So as I always say to people when they first look into BNI is as a network thing is I coach and play hockey, and that's another network in itself because it's such a teams-based sport. We know each other, we're a club, we know each other's people, there's sponsorships and that sort of stuff. So there's a network there. And this is a different way of networking when you go and talk to homeowners and that sort of stuff for me because I go and talk to them and then I go, oh, do you happen to know someone who does this? So it's actually opened my eyes up in how to talk to people slightly differently and a little bit more honest and that sort of stuff.
And how does BNI do that? Like, how do they help you open up your eyes and, improve the way you talk to people?
I'm not 100% sure how it's done it because it's just something because I'm a bit of an extrovert. My wife keeps telling me that I go out and happy to go and talk to people. But it just it somehow has fallen into a habit, and it's just that I just talk to people every time I talk to them, and that's the thing. It's just if you just have a conversation with people, they start opening about things that they want, and then you go, oh, actually, I think I know someone who can help with that.
Fantastic. You were saying to me off air that this morning in your chapter you did your 10-minute feature presentation.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah, it was good. Yeah, I do mine very. A lot of people put up like stats or a lot of words in theirs and that sort of stuff. I'm very picturesque and more let's show you exactly what we do more than here's what we do and writing it up because to me there's no point. It's more of a visual concept of what I do because I'm doing stuff that people don't think of until it becomes a problem.
And so you're talking about the before and the after photos? Is that
Yeah, you got that. You got what I actually look for on a roof because some people get up on the roofs to Christmas time to do their Christmas lights and that sort of stuff. So they may see something up there. So it gives them a chance to, if they do happen to have a look at their roof, they go, "Oh, I see that. That's a potential problem that I need to look at."
so? What would be one thing, just for our listeners or our viewers, what would be one thing that they could perhaps look out for when they do get up the ladder at Christmas time?
Your capping, so the pointy parts of your roof, where your roof goes around at angles, that sort of stuff, it goes over the corners. Just making sure, especially on a tiled roof, that making sure that that's sound and everything like that. So if it's got any slight cracks in it, some insurance companies these days are now starting to say, we're not fixing the inside of your house because you haven't maintained your roof, and that's part of the stuff that they look for. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay, great. So look out for the capping.
yeah,
That's the tip. Fantastic.
yeah.
Thank you, mate. How do you measure the success of your participation in BNI? Is there any specific metrics or stories that highlight your success, Tristan?
Yeah, well, I'm no longer Tristan's Roof Repairs and Lawns. I got rid of the lawn side completely. Probably the biggest thing that's really made it success for me is another bloke in another chapter called Nick Perry, who owns Weatherproof Restorations.
Yep.
He really took me under his wing at the start because I was underquoting myself, and he actually sat down with me and helped me do a better business process of what I should be doing, and then we started working together. And actually, to the stage where he was giving me some jobs at times to at least get me to keep going, to the stage where I haven't used him for over 12 months, basically. And I was able to then subby some work to him for me to do as well.
That's amazing, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
we've had Nick on this podcast, and I would think that you and Nick you were playing in the same field, same area, doing the roof restoration. So
yeah,
a lot of people would look at that as potential being competitors, but whereas Nick reached out to you in the givers gain philosophy of,
yeah.
well, how can I collaborate? How can I help Tristan out? And like you said, then you've been able to pay it forward back to him through different opportunities over the years.
Yeah, and it's also we want to make sure the industry is well looked after because in our industry there are a bunch of cowboys out there, and there isn't most trade industries, but in ours in particular, there's becoming cowboys quite regularly, and we want to make sure we're doing quality work and make sure that the quality work gets put out there.
Good on you. What advice would you give to new BNI members to make the most out of their membership, Tristan?
Go really jump into it. Don't look at it as a negative thing. It's an investment more than more than you think, especially trades. Trades look at it and go, I'm losing 2 hours of my time during the week. I look at it as an investment because and they've actually shown it as a stat in our group where in my first year I think I gave about 20 odd referrals, like I was a little bit behind but I only earned like 20 grand or something like that. Whereas I tripled my referrals and I had basically more than tripled my value coming in. So it's the really making sure you do get into it and actually stick at it.
Did you always have that mindset when you came into BNI around looking at it as an investment, Tristan?
Not to start with. When I first joined, I wasn't as busy as I am now. I looked at it as a potential of, yeah, I could bring some money in. It could help me bring some money in. But if I got too busy, I'll step aside from it. But as the time has gone on, I've then looked and gone, it is definitely a investment because I've got a property manager who's in our group, Rhino Property. She she puts my name on every Facebook group because she likes the amount of work that I do for property managers in particular. And I've got one that's I've got a gazillion bunch of work from since just before the cyclone. And they've just thrown me a heap of work ever since then. And they don't want to go with any other roofers because she's recommended me. So yeah, that's how I look at it as an investment. You make new friends and new people, but these people help you find new work as well.
It's a great way to look at it, mate. What's next for your business, Tristan? Have you got any exciting projects or expansions on the horizon?
Not yet. I am looking to eventually I want to get to the stage where I can if I do go away somewhere, the business is still earning money and it's not relying on me because it's just me at the moment and I've got subbies that do some work, but I need to somehow try and set it up so that when I do eventually start, if we travel for some reason, like my oldest son plays hockey and a lot of sports and is actually quite good at his sport, there's a chance we may be traveling to go watch him play. So if that's the case, I want to be making sure that I'm still bringing in money while I'm away.
Yeah, fantastic. And so you doing something about that? Are you reaching out to your BNI network to help?
A little bit. I've got Bindi, but so Belinda Kinnaman, who had
Yeah, yeah, she was
about
on
a month
recently.
ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so she does my scheduling for me at the moment.
good.
Yeah, so that's the one thing. The one thing that I'm starting to look towards is, yeah, she helps out at the moment, but starting to look at getting a proper admin lady who can potentially look at answering the phone calls instead of me having to do it all the time or something like that, so that she can during work hours in particular, because I think I might be missing out on a little bit of a market at the moment with the older generation where they don't want to go to websites or emails and that sort of stuff. They want to talk to someone on the phone. So there's a chance that I might be missing out on a small market at the moment. But that's where I would like to start. Again, it's hard to try and find a kid who wants to get out in the sun and work on a roof to start with, but either that or finding a good quality roofer, because if they're a good quality roofer, they're hired and they're going to stay hired because they're good at their job. Unless they're disgruntled with where they're working, you don't want to take them away without paying them really well anyway.
Yeah, gotcha. But it's a good point that you make, Tristan, where people come into BNI because they're looking for the referrals, and so
Yeah,
whilst you've got plenty of referrals, you're now also looking at what are the other services around me that can help me as I start to grow out my business and
yeah,
scale it and get myself into a position where I can take some time off and go and watch the kids play hockey or whatever it might be. So it's great to have that trusted network of people around you to support you on your own business journey.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Mate, how do you see your relationship with BNI evolving as your business continues to grow?
Um, I think just going to keep going as it is. I think I don't see it growing much more from where it is now because I think I'm getting the most I can out of BNI. Maybe I could, when I eventually do get this set up where I get a few more people able to work for me, I might be able to then go around to other chapters and then I can actually spruce myself out a little bit more in that sort of way and advertise a bit more in that way. But at the moment, I'm not able to do that as such.
Yeah, but like you said, that could be definitely something. I know a number of different businesses that have representatives in multiple chapters, or
Yeah,
it might be just that you're able to go and visit different chapters. I think across Brisbane, there's something like 40 odd chapters. So there's plenty
yeah,
of opportunities, to go and be able to do that. But like you said, you've got to, fix your own backyard first, get that in a
yeah.
position where you can scale it up and then go from there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it. So that's the thing. I've only known Nick and I are the only roofers that I know of that are
Mm,
in a BNI, and that's why it's such a niche little market for us. That if
correct.
we can try and move around and actually have people in, if I do have someone else, I can say, hey, let's go to that one over there or something
Abs
like that.
absolutely. If you could share one piece of wisdom with our listeners or our viewers, whether they're in BNI or not, what would
Mm.
that piece of wisdom be, Tristan?
You can always say no. Don't always have to accept every job. And that's the start. So small bit, we're all small businesses and that sort of stuff to start with. And the first thing you always do, and I got this from actually one of the neighbors in my street who works on he has his own business as well. He said to me, don't be afraid to say no to a job if you don't feel comfortable doing it or if you're not ready to do it. Don't be afraid to say no. Just don't have to say yes because you aren't getting money in, but be ready to do it first.
It's a good point you make, Tristan. And in fact, if you have listen to your gut, I suppose is a different way to frame that up as well, in the sense of if you have an uneasy feeling about something, if you think, oh my gosh, this just doesn't feel right, there might be something that that prospect has said or the way they
Yeah.
behave, then like you said, mate, it's not worth it. Move on. Abundant mindset is that there's always another opportunity just around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good on you, mate. That's wonderful. Tristan, how can listeners learn or viewers learn more about you and your business or get in touch with you, mate?
All right. I have a Facebook page, Tristan's Roof Repairs. I believe I also have a website which is also connected to that, roofrepairsbne.com.au, which is where people can make inquiries and that sort of stuff. If they do call me, all my phone number and emails are all on there. If they do call me, they will get if I don't answer straight away, they get a message back and via inviting them to go to the website so they can put an inquiry through the website.
Fantastic. Well, if you're watching or listening and you need something done with your roof, please feel free to reach out to Triston. He will be able to help you out. Well, thanks, Triston. Look, that wraps up another episode of the BNI Effect. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and I want to extend a massive, heartfelt thank you to our guest, Triston Parker, for sharing his insights with us. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to the BNI Effect on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a review. Until next time, give more, trust more, grow more.